right?
I'm only seeing
Should be right next. If you click on spells, it should be at the top where it says spell attack, and the spell save DC.
Spell save DC is 14.
Yep, because that's 8 plus your proficiency, which is 2, plus your intelligence, which is 3, and then 1 from the staff. So
we are ready to go now.
Swizz. Swizz, yeah.
Swiss cheese.
That is what I said, Swizz.
Swizz and Top Banana are his two favorite.
That's my go-tos. Top Banana is it's top. You know, it's very good, and then Swizz is like cool. Swizz.
Nice.
Top Swizz.
Top Swizz.
God
no, that's too powerful. You're combining the two. Yeah, but you guys are all of you got the long rest. All of you level up. It is now your fourth day in Drynna, but waking up in the morning it is.
Isn't it fifth day?
For some of you it is. Some of you got the Drynna a little bit, but in terms of when the adventure began, it's the fourth day.
So that means we've basically leveled up each day. So that means Aelion should be level 5.
Oh no, Aelion, you're right. I think it is the 5th day because there was that one night you didn't level.
Yep. I mean, kind of scribe you left said, that was day 4 that last happened.
Yeah. Oh no, you're right. That's me being dumb.
Time shifting around us. Day 4, day 5, day 4.
It is day 5 when you were here. Yes, day 4 was what I wrote in the synopsis.
Yeah.
So yeah, you guys are all level 4. It is day 5, but all of you guys wake up in the morning, long rest for each of you, level up. All of you guys feel more powerful from your adventure and your completion of what you set out to do. But anyone want to do anything particular as the sun comes up? And it's early. You guys got back like when the sun set. So after the confrontation and just going in for the night, you're up with the sun.
I suppose Sullivan and Wryn will do some more light training, practicing the monk stuff. We're not gonna do a scene. Okay. We're just gonna roll.
Yeah, I was about to say, since you leveled up, because this is what I was waiting for, and since you took a level in monk, you feel more in tuned with your, you have more ki, your dexterity increase. So go ahead and once again roll a. Actually, we'll change it up. I had you both roll wisdom. We'll make this more physical. So both of you roll acrobatics.
Oh, that's gonna be great.
Yeah, the first couple times was just the knowledge of it, your guys' wisdom connecting. This is
20.
19.
Jesus.
Not natural.
Student has surpassed them.
Yeah, Wryn, you kind of know what's in store for you. A lot of it was the basics of, understanding, as I said, the energy that flows through one's body and tapping into that. And the whole idea of chakra is you have this small gate within your body where energy flows in, and the whole idea is just expanding that gate, opening it up and letting more energy flow in. And in doing so, you're able to utilize a wellspring of energy within your own body that a monk's able to utilize. And you can instantly know that Sullivan's is growing, and that, every day so far that you guys been together, it looks like he's slowly starting to get into more of the groove, and you kind of expect that this is going to probably be more of a physical day. So you take the time to stretch and to psych yourself up, and you guys go through all the beats and pulls of sparring and defensive and offensive techniques and all that. Sullivan even shows you a bit of what you saw, especially in your fight with the open hand technique, where close fists. Obviously, you see Sullivan put a lot of bludgeoning and physical stress on the body. When he opens his hand for some of his techniques, they're more of for control. He pushed Loonsgon, quite a distance. And you may have even seen with, the gnolls and the witherlings when he's able to shut down parts of their body and lock it down to stop them from moving fast, or reactions, as you would say. And he just goes through all of that, and you guys feel like you're getting really close to something. To Wryn, you're starting to understand where you might be able to utilize this in a more life and death situation. and you feel like there might be something for all this work that you're putting in.
Hell yeah.
And I think we talked about it already, but there is something.
Yes.
Sick.
Sick nasty.
But you feel like it's getting harder. That was really fucking good rolls.
Yeah.
Yeah, you feel like it's getting more difficult, and that might have to prepare yourself a little bit more for whatever session is, because you don't want to hit a wall and get discouraged. But right now there is no wall before you. You're just in tune with Sullivan's teachings.
Best teacher 2020, boys.
Yes, good. You got Wryn. For some reason, you in 20s. Like, it's never natural, but you always get 20s. 20
I know.
perception, 20 like everything.
It's so weird.
You should see her when she rolls actual dice.
It's terrible. I rolled 5 nat ones yesterday.
That's pretty terrific.
It was terrible. I have terrible luck.
I just started giving her I'd be like, okay, it's not gonna be like a terrible fail, but it'll still be like a fail.
Pull the punch a little bit. That takes a bit of time, though. Anyone else want to do anything? It's worth noting, Rigaton, you during your sentry's rest, there was nothing out of the ordinary during the night.
Okay.
Kind of keep an eye out for a certain somebody who said they were leaving, and nothing. You have the feeling that Yorna is indeed gone. But anyone else? Gorbo, Aelion, Rigaton?
Nope. Nothing for me.
No, Gorbo's just taking a little Gorbo snooze.
Aelion?
Well, I'll go ahead and say that
Aelion gets up from bed. He can feel a new sense of magical power in, which I guess I'll say kind of awoke after the whole thing with Yorna last night. Came of everything that happened yesterday. He got a vision of a city on fire, and it awakened a sense of new magic inside of him, new power.
Yeah, especially with your bardic knowledge, Aelion, which is a combination of traditional arcane spellcasting, which is like complex equations and runes and all that, just this overwhelming something that's more tuned with Rigaton is understanding, complex equations, patterns, glyphs, and all that. Bardic knowledge takes that idea but mixes it with storytelling, and it's more lore based, where you interpret these crazy stories of magical feats and all that and implement them into your own, but utilizing your bardic knowledge way more within these past couple days with these people than you ever have before. You definitely feel like there is a bit of awakening, as you said, inside of you. Something different.
Yeah, it feels more untamed, I guess.
It feels like it flows to your body as opposed to you utilizing it from an outside source, so to say. This is something that's much deeper within you.
Well, this is new. With that, Aelion's gonna grab his stuff and head on downstairs.
Okay. Yeah, we'll say it's you guys kind of take the time to. Actually, while Sullivan and Wryn are sparring, that's going to take them a bit. All of you guys kind of gather downstairs, and Gorbo and Aelion, you guys kind of know at this point that they've been sparring together for the past couple days, so you already know that they're probably doing their works and all that. But you guys are together down in the main lobby, and you do see. You see Philip, or I'm sorry, you see Michael. No Philip, no Cora, the mother. It looks like just a normal day. It kind of reminds you, though, look in here, you see over on the board, looks like there's some more new postings put up from where Gorbo was initially standing looking at the jobs from your very first day here. Looks like there's some new ones up, but the atmosphere in here is kind of quiet and normal. The festival's over. The panic from yesterday's over, and it just seems to be dying down and going back to a normal, steady thing. What you do notice, though, is over on the table where he was yesterday, you see Mortimer. It didn't look like he went to bed. He is just face down, sleeping on the table, and the pile of books that you brought him, Gorbo, half of them are now on the other side next to him, looks like in a separate pile, and there is one that he's kind of fallen asleep on top of that's kind of open. You kind of get the impression that he might have been up all night.
I'm gonna fight
looking through
you. if we can't take him along. Like I'm gonna fly 10 hours back.
You're fighting somebody right
or
now.
I'm gonna drive 10 hours back and fight you.
You're fighting somebody right now, so you're not there.
Yeah,
You
can't
three
take
see
anybody.
this. You just
So-
see Mortimer looks like he's passed out.
So can Gorba go kind of like nudge him over?
Yeah, you kind of give him a quick nudge. He's like, "Stars, oh, oh, good morning." And he kind of like fixes his glasses and kind of wipes the drool off of the book. It's open, a gate mouse on the pages. Kind of looks to each of you. Oh, was it kind of embarrassing?
Does friend Mortimer like books?
Yes, they're incredibly fascinating. They're mostly about. They're old, hundreds of years old. Not all of them are dated, though, strangely, but get the general impression from how they're written and they're all star maps and studies of the constellations and patterns, and especially of the moon. The two great bodies up in the sky. They're just all about that. The one I'm on right now, that I guess I fortunately fell asleep on. This was a little different. This is more of a study of the land. I'm not too far into it, but it's definitely different. I'd probably have to spend a little bit more time studying it, but it seems to be more talking about the surrounding marsh and its strange qualities, if you will.
Marsh
But yes,
here?
I'm enjoying them. I'm enjoying them immensely. Thank you. Once again, this is definitely a worthwhile trip.
Gorba's gonna kind of chuckle and give him a pat on the back, but like check his strength to make sure he doesn't just like smack him across the.
No, you're
And-
kind of in tune it, but he's still he's still a gnome, so he's like kind of like feel the wind might probably got knocked at him a little bit, but you do not hurt him.
That is good.
He kind of looks to each of you. Where's the other two?
Surely upstairs, spar.
Ah, right.
Very,
Um.
you're very faint. Ow, that's my fucking finger!
That would sound about right then. Well, if you guys wanna, quite tired, but I got a couple hours of sleep in there. I guess the last bit of that. If you guys wanna have some breakfast and wait for them, I do have a request. Something that I think probably would be a good time to finish up now while we're waiting on them. You see him kind of like shift the books aside and close the other one that he fell asleep on top of, but kind of marks where he was, which is very early on in the book. Seems like it is a different looking book as well. It looks not, it may be a little bit older, but it just looks like it might be different penmanship and a different bound to it. But he kind of pushed that back on the pile that he hasn't read. But you can see it's about half and half. He's gone through quite a lot of books. But he kind of pushed them aside and he kind of digs around in his pack and he pulls out his own sets of books that you've seen him write in over the course of the journey, and kind of organizes it and thumbs through it, and pushes his glasses up and pulls out a quill and kind of gestures for each of you to take a seat at the table.
Gorba will gladly take a seat at the table.
Alien as well.
Rigaton, do you just do you take a seat or do you stand?
I just kind of stand.
Yeah, you're under the impression that if you sat, you probably wouldn't be able to distribute your weight properly, and you'd probably be crushed in this. But you go ahead and kind of like hulk up next to him and post up, and kind of Mortimer now looks between the three of you. So as I said, I want to make it up to you. I'm a long way from home. This is a trip across the continent, but beyond that, beyond Iman or anything that I have situated there, I at least want to do something. As I mentioned, there's a gentleman in Western that I'm an acquaintance with, Leo, as I said. I've been putting together notes about our adventures and the strange occults that's been going on in this town, and he's looking for stuff like that. He's in a bit of a predicament with the position that he is in, with an organization that he's a part of, and I vowed I would help out wherever I can, and it's stuff like this that is precisely what would help him. Strange beings, magical influence, curses, and all that. That's right up his alley. As I said, I've put together most of the past couple days' work. The only thing I don't have is what exactly happened yesterday. The marsh and all that. If you guys would be willing to recount, I would include it all in these notes, and it would just go even further to ingratiate not only ourselves, but him with his organization, and he would be probably very, very happy. And as I said, he would have work for people like you, and something like this, a gift, bringing this to him. If you guys were interested in work from him, it would go a long way. Kind of see him sitting there with the pen out. Would you guys be okay with that?
Gorbo sees no reason not.
Same. I'm not looking for any sort of steady employment, but I mean, recounting our tale is certainly not a bad idea.
Oh, no, I'm talking precisely about the adventuring type. So you have kind of like a playful look across his face. This would not be steady employment. This would be exactly what a group like you would be interested in. There would be money, rewards. His organization is quite powerful. Well, his organization is, like I said, his position is not. He's fallen out of grace. But if you guys wanted to take jobs from him, it would be on the table, but it's not a permanent situation. It is definitely, what's the word? Freelancer work? I don't know.
Well, I'll have to take that into consideration.
Awesome. Well, yeah, if you guys are good to go, I'm listening. And we'll say, for the sake of this, do you guys just recount the entirety of what happened yesterday? The marsh, the cave, the village, the sanctum, the rescue of Perrin, and the heart of the sanctum? Or is there anything particular you want to leave out? I guess what I'm asking. So there's a lot that happened, and he is now recording it all for this gentleman that you've heard him refer to as Leo.
I guess that depends. Who's recounting it?
Well, you guys, all three of you were there. He said that he had up until the events of when you left, so Rigaton, you would be able to supply the knowledge as well. You went with him from after the festival where Mortimer was at, and then you were there for the entire length of the marsh. So all three of you have all the information he's looking for, so he's just looking between all of you. I'm just saying, if there's anything that you guys want to leave out, you can coordinate it as a group during this time. If you need me to recount like the basic hits of the knowledge here, you have the journey through the marsh, you have the cave, you have the village that Yorna burned, you have the sanctum where you guys confronted Loonscon, you had the rescue of Perrin Bro, and then the heart of the sanctum. Those are all the hits there. So if there's any details that you want to leave out or any large chunks, this would be the time.
Now, Aeolion's gonna look over Gorbo and Kington. Well, my friends, what exactly would we be comfortable to this man employing Mortimer here?
Maybe we should leave out the part with Yorna burning down the village.
Robo agrees. At least don't say it was a massacre. Or Gorbo say we leave it and we damn Yorna.
Yes.
Okay, I agree with that.
Okay, so just to get this clear, you guys... Oh, go ahead, Aeolian.
You know what? Sure. I don't see a reason why we shouldn't say everything.
So are you guys agreeing to, from what, I don't know if you called it Aeolian, but from what Gorbo and I think Rigaton were getting at, and correct me if I'm wrong, you want to alter it a little bit to where you kind of pin the massacre on Yorna, but make it sound a lot more sinister.
Yeah, like it was
To
all
an
her
extent.
fault.
Yeah, like you
Yeah.
want to make her the villain here.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like
Oh,
she
yeah, I
lost her
didn't-
mind or something. Like
or
something
like
happened.
or like you want to distance the because you get the impression that Mortimer has been with you guys. Not Rigaton, you joined recently, but Mortimer has been with them the entire time, and he's been recounting everything. So Yorna's going to be included, but you want to twist it now to where at that pivotal moment she now seems to be the villain.
Oh,
Indubitably.
get that.
Indubitably.
You guys are all agreeing on that?
Yes.
Oh, no, I thought that was something different they were meaning.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's why it didn't sound like you got it. Yeah, that's what Gorbo. I think that's what you were saying, right, Gorbo?
Well, yeah, to just kind of show that, like, Yorna did this despicable act and the world should know in case,
Yeah.
for some reason, someone across the continent hears this
Recognizes
tale,
it, or
and then they know they've heard of Yorna and kind of put.
yeah, anything. This would be the time because this is going to. Well, he's given it to you, and if you bring it to this individual who supposedly has worked for you, then this is what he would be looking at.
Yeah.
Uh,
Aliens.
So it's up to you guys.
Aliens is fine with recounting that, but he's not going to exaggerate. He's going to tell how it happened.
Gorbo
Okay.
wants to exaggerate slightly.
And Rigaton? What do you want to do in this instance,
Rigaton
Rigaton?
agrees
With who?
Gorbo.
Okay, so
Yes,
Alien,
my son.
Alien, it is 2 out of 3 here. It is 2 out of 3. So there is exaggeration that you can't. You're kind of getting rolled over here. So the recounting is accurate, but there is a bit of exaggeration around Yorna's action, and that there was clearly something very sinister about that. You don't know exactly what it was because it seemed very casual for her. So it may not have been entirely sinister, but now the papers make it look like that she took some strides to make sure that this job was done in a malicious way.
Yay.
So that is recounted. So we'll say so far it seems like the marsh, the cave, the village got a little bit altered. Anything with the sanctum, the battle, and the heart. All the events that happened there.
Aliens he's gonna stick with saying just tell it how it was.
Gorbo
Right.
Rigaton?
Riggington's just gonna agree with Elion. From other than the point of what we changed, everything else should be told how it was.
Okay.
Gorbo
Now,
agrees.
yeah, telling it how it was, the cave, it lines up because the cave was something, but now it seems like it's a little bit more malicious. The heart of the sanctum and what happened there, Mortimer, and Mortimer's, listening to all this for the first time, you can tell, and Ringington, you kind of get this impression too, being a major arcane practitioner, and Mortimer does have some magical capabilities, just not that extensive. He definitely is weirded out by this, and it's mainly from the glyph and the overwhelming sense of abjuration, because you know this, Rigaton, and you guys kind of all get the gist together as a group. Anything that's abjuration it's protecting something, it's warding. And something that's overwhelming, well, you saw what she took, that sword, and you felt that strange energy throughout that room. You get a feeling this might be extraplanar. That ward might have been keeping something at bay, keeping something back, you're not too sure. But it's definitely, that's the odd part, and that kind of lines up with the cave, that it sounds more malicious, recounting it in written form. And you get the feeling that if this goes to an arcane practitioner, that's what their mind is going to go towards, is that whatever was broken there, that abjuration glyph, it was clearly keeping something at bay, and without it there, who knows?
Oof.
But yeah, if you guys don't want to alter anything else, then you guys spend the next hour or so while Wryn and Sullivan are sparring to finish off the notes of your guys' adventures and doings in Drynna. And with that, you see Mortimer kind of take a breather and look up and shake his head. Well, that was certainly something. Thank
A
you.
lot happened.
Yeah, no, that was far more than I thought. You see him bind now the notes. And you see it's a scattering of his book, just drawings and stuff like that. He even tucks one of the books that you brought him, Gorbo, into the pile. And it just seems to be collecting a thing of research. And you see him bind it up. You see him pull a letter out of his pocket. And we'll say at this time that Wryn, Sullivan, you guys now join right at the tail end of this. You guys come downstairs a bit sore, but ready for the day. And you see your party gathered with Mortimer right as Mortimer's kind of bounding up these notes. And seems to be pulling a letter out of his pocket and tucking it on the top. And there's now this bundle of parchment, a book, and a letter together in one bundle.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! You can't be having a party without the outsiders' leader here. Leader?
What are you talking
Who voted
about?
you leader, meathead?
Hey, now. I'm the one that came up with the name. I mean, I think I should be at least one of the inner circle members. You know what I mean?
We're all in. I can't talk. Sorry. We're all inner circle members. I wouldn't say you're the leader, though.
Oh, so now we've confirmed that there's an inner circle. Hell yeah, we're gonna make a cult out of this.
We're all the
Inner circle is Gorbo and Mortimer.
I don't want any part of an inner circle. I would much rather be a member? Outer circle? I don't know.
Yeah.
Mortimer, you're gonna stay as close to our side as we could possibly get you. You're a G.
You know he has to return to his place, right?
Yeah, but like then he could do work there, and we can like pick him up some other time, and he can come on our adventures.
I think the word you're looking for, and he points to both of you, is an honorary member. You
That's
call
what?
on me when I need. I'll be an honorary member of the outside.
Mortimer, you better learn to cast like moon-sized fireballs or whatever by the next time we see each other.
That is quite something.
That would be quite the sight.
I mean, if I'm being completely honest, it would be a slight alien. Though I think that's much suited for you or the big guy here, Riggington. Maybe moon-sized fireballs will be in your guys' future. No, what I hope to do is moon-related. As I said, these notes, and you see him now with the rest of the books in the two piles, but he is starting to now put them together to the side as he is now packing up from the looks of it, from his setup here. But he goes on. I do hope to utilize this research and, well, hopefully my theories and research will rise within the Lyceum. Who knows? If you guys find yourselves in Iman, maybe when we see each other again, I'll be a bigwig. Maybe I'll have my own office.
That'd be legendary. I think you certainly deserve your own office.
Oh, well. Thank you.
I'm not exactly sure with geography and whatnot. Where exactly is this Iman place in relation to here?
You seem kind of look a little shocked, and then kind of like has a little chuckle. Sullivan, you don't know where Iman is?
Listen, man, I just walk around and punch things. I don't really put much thought into stuff.
Where did
Can I make it like a
grow
history
up?
check or something?
No, you know where Iman is.
Okay.
Iman is the capital of Tal'Dorei. It's on the western coast. You guys are as far east as you can get. Iman is as far west. You guys are all the way across the continent.
Yeah, it's on the other side.
Of course, I know.
Now, it is worth
it's on the other side, but how many miles are we talking here? Like, how many days? Like, I don't know. We're gonna be riding a cart with Ollie pulling all of us. So I mean, we're gonna kind of need an estimate here in terms of ox speed per mile.
I don't know the exact time, because if you move on a larger caravan, as you guys are, might be slower. Magical transportation is always a wonder. But where are you from? Might I ask?
West Run, just along the way,
right.
I guess.
No, yeah. I remember we were talking about Mr. Graining yesterday, and you didn't say you didn't know him, but I do remember you mentioned West Run. Well, that's the middle of the dividing plane. Iman is on the Shimmerblade coast, and we are on the Lucidian coast. So you kind of got Western is in the center, I guess you would say, maybe a little bit more skewed towards our side, towards Drynna as it is. But however long it took you to get from there to here, it would be the same. And you do know, Sullivan, it took you roughly... This is an estimate because I know the distance from Drynna to Turst Field, that's about 2 to 3 days. It would probably be upwards of 5 to 6 days travel to Westruun. But Westruun is, or maybe more of like a week. And then Westruun is skewed more towards Drynna. So from Westruun to Iman, it would be over a week. So you're looking at a couple weeks journey.
Thanks.
Yeah, from coast to coast, by cart, by foot, by horse, it's quite a few days. And that's also just east to west. The whole continent also goes north to south. The Tal'Dorei Republic encompasses where you guys are all the way to in just this one block. So the continent's huge, but in terms of the Republic, to cross the span is about 2 weeks. But I've made the trip, and it's, as long as you stay close to the roads and travel with protection and all that, it's not too bad. But I think you guys are your own protection.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody would want to mess with these guns. And he just kind of like puts up, like flexes his arms, and he's like grinning.
Riggington's gonna copy what Sullivan's doing, but really awkwardly.
So you kind of do like the arm, you put like one foot behind the other and do like the like to the side with the
Armstrong.
Like, muscle, yeah, the Armstrong pose. You guys all see Riggington kind of strike this pose. A couple parts like from being bent in a strange direction as he's not used to, as he's been asleep for a while.
Same with good old Riggington and Gorbo here, especially.
Yeah. Oh, and to answer your question, Sullivan, or at least your inquiry, it's not. I mean, we had an interesting talk, but your party members here were just recounting the events from yesterday, and I think I've compiled. And he kind of puts his hands out towards them, presents this little bundle of notes. I think I've compiled something interesting. As I said, if you were interested in a job offer in Westruun with this gentleman, this is what you could bring him.
Now you recounted the part about the whole village getting slaughtered, right?
Yes, they definitely hit that beat. I have to be completely honest, and you see him kind of scoot back in his chair. She was a strange lady. Definitely made me uncomfortable in some regards, but that's shocking. More so was the supposed inner sanctum, this heart, as your party mates here described it. Yeah, that's definitely off. But
I always had bad
it's
vibes,
in here.
But didn't seem like anybody else really got the same thing, or if they did, they weren't speaking up. No offense to anybody here, but yeah, now it seems like it might be too late. Who knows what the hell's gonna happen?
I have no clue. There has been quite enough days of excitement for me in this place, and I think the town probably had enough excitement for a while as well. And I think that's all done. I think you've definitely solved their issues.
Now, what's left is to claim our reward.
Yeah, and as a complete outsider, no pun intended, but honestly, I've never been to this place besides now with you guys. As a complete outsider, even I'm thankful. Takes quite a lot to stand up and face something such as that, especially with no promise of reward necessarily, but no, Aelion is correct. I think you guys deserve whatever they have on offer.
Well, we did go from kicking rats across the warehouse to, raiding moon sanctums or whatever in the span of a couple of days. Actually, Mortimer, there was some sort of, it looked like some sort of observatory there. There's a little device we didn't get to move that looked like it kind of hooked into something, and it looked like you could stare up into the stars like through this telescope. So maybe you'll want to pay that place a visit. I mean, it's completely cleared out. So
I'm gonna be completely honest. I've come across the Root Garden Marsh in my studies. I'm sure you guys have first-hand experience, but it's definitely a strange place. Not only because of the natural mixture of water from the Lucidian Ocean and from the Morin Lake, which is the Morin Lake water is already unique with the Morin crystals, the strange altered residuum, the runoff from the Alabaster Sierra Mountains. This whole mixture, combined with, I guess the sanctum, is a weird place. There's been research and inquiries about a place such as this, but an observatory, subterranean at that, Moonweaver presence, it's definitely bizarre, but...
Did they tell you about the whole Lady of Black Bindings part?
Yeah, I think your party, you guys would have mentioned that as well.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, they did. A mirror and... Did you guys mention that? Forgot to include that.
Well, we would have said, I believe we would have said everything.
Yeah, it's up to you. Whatever you guys wanted to leave out. But yeah, if you were saying everything and then just altered the village, then that's cool. So, yes, Mortimer turns to you. They did mention the lady, the mirror, the supposed deal.
Yeah, did they mention that I'm some sort of secret sorcerer god that knows the ancient tongues?
They did not mention. They did not mention that, but I imagined it had something to do with this mirror.
I'm just joking. I just speak Draconic, and it came in handy.
Well, you certainly have the temper of a dragon.
And you have the horns of one.
I guess that makes us each half of a dragon, I suppose.
Hell yeah! The outsiders are gonna become a full dragon. We'll like piece each other together like some sort of like mech. And then he looks at Riggington. He's like, "Hell yeah! We've already got our body, Riggington. You're the body of the mech."
What is happening?
Guys are gonna like
outsiders transform.
Just having some fun.
Gotta do the Power Rangers.
Oh my god, you guys climb on top of me. All you guys are climbing inside of me and on top of me, controlling each other.
Alright. Don't make it weird.
I know what meme I have to make next. You guys continue.
Oh god.
Oh no.
Oh
If it's
yeah.
as good as
I'm
the
fucking
if it's as good as
Megatron.
if it's as good as the Teletubbies one, then it's
Yes.
done deal. That was a legendary one.
Speaking of reward that I think Mortimer mentioned, we should probably go collect it before they think we skip town, you know.
And we should also check out Perrin and our little note.
I know that's my main priority
Well,
right
yeah,
now. Next,
the kid as well. We're taking him to
Where is the furry baby?
yes.
Perrin has him, buddy, but yeah, I think we're taking him to Turst Fields after this, right? Is everybody in agreement of that, or did we have some other plans?
That's certainly my plan.
Yes.
Yep.
All right, well,
So I would hopefully someone will take this, and he kind of holds up a large bundle of notes. I'm gonna stay here. We'll talk when you come back, but I think I'm gonna be staying here for the next couple days before I head home. So hopefully you all come to say goodbye.
oh yeah, well, isn't it like a 2-day trip to Turst Fields?
Yeah, it is, but
Oh, you
I'm-
mean like after we collect the... Yeah, of course. After we collect the reward, I'm coming back here. I'm giving you a big hug. As a matter of fact, come here.
yeah,
And he walks over to him and he's gonna give him like a big hug.
he's standing in the chair, which is like kind of your height. Like he's standing upright in the chair, but he's holding this large bundle of notes. Isn't that really big to you? But it's gnomish. And you kind of come over, and he's like, he can't put the notes down in time, so you just wrap around and give a big old hug. But without much of hands to give a hug back at this moment, you can at least feel him like give into it and definitely warm up.
Wholesome.
No, it's mainly because the trip to Amman is... The roads can be dangerous, and I would like to at least gather a bit of an expedition, at least to get there. People would be heading there as well. And believe me, I'm not going to ask you guys to journey all the way to Amman. It's a far trip if you guys have business to attend to elsewhere, but that is my goal, is at least to find somebody here who I can tag along with.
Well, I don't think I've ever been there, and if I have, I kind of forget, but I'd like to see the capital eventually, so maybe we can all head there sometime. See good old Morty.
As I said, if you give it some time for me to get back and to bring this, before my superiors, then I might have a nice position. But as I said, even beyond that, I do want to reward you in some way, but I just don't have a lot on me here. My talents aren't extensive. I'm mainly an astronomer, but I could come up with something to thank you for a proper reward for rescuing and saving my life, and supplying me with bountiful research.
Well, we definitely appreciate that. And he's gonna turn to the rest of the group. So we heading out to get our reward.
And to go get the child.
Yes.
And I suppose from there we'll then make our way.
You're
Well,
breaking
not-
up a little bit, Alien.
I suppose from there we can then see heading on out to Turst Fields.
Not before we say goodbye to Philip, Michael, Cora, Renston, I guess, Eladrin. He's trying to like naming all these names off, and he's like counting them on his hands. Who else? Oh, Sven. You can't forget Sven. Brian. We have to find Brian. I think that's it.
I'm sure several of these we'll see when we're getting our reward.
I want to give everybody a big hug to remember me by.
Oh, I don't think they'll need a hug to remember you. You're
right. My dashing good looks are enough to remember me as. And he kind of puts his foot up on the stool and just like kind of stands triumphantly for a second before like laughing. He's like, Reganton, did you say you wanted a hug?
Yes.
All right, come here. Please don't crush me. He's gonna go hesitantly give him a hug.
You.
No, don't crush me.
It's kind of weird because as you say that, and I'm guessing Riggington, do you give him a proper hug?
Yeah.
Okay, as you reach out and hug him, Sullivan, he's a big figure, but you can feel like the individual connecting pieces of his, what you would say is a joints, kind of like almost latching and locking in behind you, and you can definitely feel him not trying to hurt you, but it's like an awkward hug. But as he wraps around, you kind of feel his full embrace, and the metal's cold. But as he gets you too close to the crystal at the center of his chest, where the heart would be, it's very warm. And it feels like there's more to this construct than just a metallic being. It's a warm hug.
Well, I already knew that from the start.
And the runes that are kind of like pulsing around his arms, they're warm as well. There's definitely a lot. It's a strange experience. The cold
Is
metal.
Riggington purring right now like a cat? Like that's what I'm just. Is he purring?
God, I hope so.
Is he purring like a cat? Because you giving me that vibe like my runes are going like I'm purring like a cat.
No, I said that the runes like pulsing like with like warmth.
It's making me think of a cat purring.
I mean, you can purr if you want.
All right, Riggington will start to slowly like vibrate. So,
You just feel like his entire body like. It's
Oh.
like thrumming energy.
You got some. You're either emulating purring or you're about to self-destruct, buddy. Please tell me it's the first one.
I am very happy.
Well, I'm glad I can make you happy, buddy. You're part of the Outsiders now.
I have a family.
We all have. We're all a family, whether you like it or not. And he kind of points to Wryn and Aelion. We're family now. Ha ha ha.
We are certainly an odd family, I'll give it that.
I think that's an understatement, Wryn.
Yeah, you're right.
All right, I want to go see this little Knoll baby. Hopefully he's in one piece and cured.
She,
Whatever.
I want to see my daughter.
no.
Google his grandchild?
Yes.
I want to see my daughter.
I miss the fur baby.
Oh my god.
You see Mortimer still like hands around the notes. Can someone take these?
Yeah, I got it.
All right. He kind of hands the notes off. Just as I said, you can throw them out. You can use them for a campfire, anything you want. But if you do happen to find yourself in Westruun and interested in work, that's a ticket to this gentleman. Oh, as I said, his name is Leowitz Graining. Look for Feather-Worn Shelf. Oh shit! You see him kind of snapping his fingers. I forget the name of the proprietor, It's a half elf, a woman, but it's a shop. Seek out that place, and you can find Mr. Graining, Leo Witz, there.
All right. We just hand him this thing, and he gives us work.
More or less. He would explain more, but as I said, he's a trusted associate of mine. Interesting fellow. Seeing kind of give a bit of a giggle, and his eyes go kind of wide. But he's a good man, and as I said, he's interested in stuff like this.
Right. Well, we'll be sure to do that if we head by my good old, wonderful hometown, if you can call it that. But we're gonna go see how Perrin and the Knoll are doing and get a reward, and then we'll be back, and then after that we'll head on out to Turst Fields. So let's go, everybody, and Sullivan's just gonna open the door and trot on outside.
See you later, Mortimer. And then
I will be here. You see him kind of wander off upstairs towards his room.
Well,
All the rest of you guys follow?
Yep.
Indeed.
Yep.
Okay. And as you guys go out, it's still morning, but there's an overcast. It's a little bit chillier out. It's definitely, as the days progress, you can feel the autumn start to, get more and more intense out. But it looks like rain might be coming within the next couple days. But right now, it's still, you can see people getting up and going about their morning, and a lot of people are leaving town. Especially, there's a large influx going down the path that you guys are being a station on, which is the Parchwood Way, out of town towards Turst Fields, and then branches off from there to many different byways. But you see a lot of people leaving, a lot of people going about their business. You guys are all together. Where would you like to go?
just real quick, with all this rain, we could really use the emergency beaver cloaks.
Oh my god.
God damn it.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Bring it into this one, please. I'll put beaver cloaks somewhere. I'll put beaver pelts somewhere. Don't worry.
No.
Yes.
Sullivan's gonna burn them all.
Joke.
No, fuck you. Alright, yeah. We're headed that way.
Where are you guys heading?
Oh,
Guess the town hall or whatever the hell. I guess, I don't know.
yeah,
Towards the lodge.
I guess.
All right. So you guys make your way towards the lodge, and same exact thing. A lot of people going past you towards the exits of town. A lot of people going about their business. It seems like though is that stuff has calmed down. There's a bit of tense yesterday from the initial attack coming down from its high, but you don't get any weird glances. But at this point, people are like kind of looking at you and kind of like pointing and a couple of whispering and all that. You seems like at the very least you be in the center of that fight in the town square as everyone else separated, and there was only a handful of individuals stayed, all of you guys amongst it. Especially you, Riggington, you busting out of a nearby display and then unleashing arcane power upon the battlefield. You guys are definitely starting to get spotted out now. But a lot of people leaving, but it's just recognition.
Well,
Can't really tell if it's good or bad recognition though.
Well, they're walking, I guess. He's just gonna be waving over to people with a smile. They look over at
It is. I was gonna say it is. As you guys see Elion step forward and present himself, a lot of people, their faces do brighten up. They recognize you, Elion, from your performance at the march. So you're definitely hold a different, disconnected air about you from that performance. But as a group, people are at least recognizing that these are outsiders, if you will.
They
Though
don't
they don't know.
recognize Wryn from dancing and then eating shit.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the actual performance, and Wryn stepped off stage for the performance.
Yeah.
It was when everyone gathered around, within the old Drynna square, if you will. Yeah, Wryn, you did step off stage for that, if I remember right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're mainly looking at Elion.
Are they looking at me? Because
Celebrity.
Yeah, they are looking at you because you're just an oddity, and like I said, they're just kind of generally recognize you, but it's just odd people. A couple people, you see a cart go by with some kids on the back, and they're kind of like, giggling and pointing. It just seems like at this point there's been word that this attack, the people who defended against attack, metallic being, half giant, collection of humanoids, and it's all these strange oddities that went down.
As we're walking along, I'm gonna kind of look at a nearby building, and a slight grin is gonna come on my face, and I'm gonna be like, "Hey guys, do you want to see something that's cool that I've been meaning to try real quick?"
What are you talking about?
I don't know if this will work, but I've been practicing it, so we'll try this out. And Sullivan's gonna run over and try to scale the building real quick.
Whoa.
Okay. What size building are you going for?
We'll say like a 2-story, like medium.
Okay. So something that will clearly hurt, but go ahead and make an acrobatic check. Or you're scaling it.
He's just trying to. He's not like parkouring up, but he's just.
Then do
casually
athletics.
climbing.
Please fall.
Oh.
Please fall.
Never mind. Then I'll.
Because athletics is muscle, acrobatics. So I'll just say athletics would be easier. Acrobatics is harder because you're trying to go from ledge to ledge and trying to make it Assassin's Creed style. But it's whatever you feel more comfortable with.
I mean, my athletics
But the
is like
DC
0, and my acrobatics
the DC,
is 6.
The DC for acrobatics is going to be a little bit higher, just for a little bit more of a difficult climb.
I'll do
And
acrobatics.
It could have more negative consequences if you slipped real bad, but
Well,
it's up to
Crack
you.
his head on the rock.
You've got healers. You're fine.
no, I mean I've got the whole
No,
point
it
of
is
climbing
true.
up there,
I'm just-
so I mean I could use my.
This is,
I'm gonna
this, is
die.
just, this is just in general athletics, since muscle and more like physical strength. It's just easier to climb.
That's an 18 for acrobatics.
You're fine. So you guys watch as Sullivan kind of goes over this building and gives it one quick size up, and you're like, ledge, kind of map it out, and you just watch him start to scale and shift his weight to one side with one foot on one ledge and just start to bounce up. At this point, all the people that were looking are now staring, and you see a lot of people as Sullivan makes it up one story, second story. You got a little bit of a crowd, and people are kind of gathering around, but you do make it to the top. It's kind of a dirty roof. It looks like this particular building hasn't been properly cleaned in a while, but you are now 2 stories up.
I want to try.
No, Riggington,
No.
wait, hold on. You'll see the reason I came up here. He's gonna shout down to people and be like, "Ladies and gentlemen of Drynna, I give you the skills of a monk." And then he's just gonna kind of like put his arms out, stretched to both sides, like kind of like a T-pose, fall forward slowly, do a front flip, and then like right as I'm about to like halfway down, I'm gonna use feather fall or slow fall, whatever it's called.
Slow fall. Okay, so you guys watch as Sullivan just takes a leap off this building. You guys can instantly size that this is gonna fucking hurt anybody.
Yeah.
Sullivan.
However, you've seen Sullivan's particular techniques, and you watch as Sullivan kind of pushes down and begins to fall like a natural parachute. Just distributes his weight perfectly without missing an ounce of any shifts or anything, and just becomes this net. His robes kind of billow out, and you just watch as he descends. It's slow and graceful, and right as he's about to hit the bottom, you see him go into this one twirl, this front flip, and as he lands, it's just this very light impact as both his feet kind of land.
I'll turn to
Arms
the
stretched out.
spectators, the Drynna citizens. I'll just turn to them and just give a very deep bow and just kind of wave.
It went,
It's fine.
yeah, and it mirrors some of your party members. All of them went like, oh, like, you know, the
Yeah.
and then and then you hear ensuing claps and all that, and then even more whispers.
Alion's just shit.
Is Riggington at this point trying to scale the building?
Are you trying to scale?
Yeah, I want to try to.
No, Riggington, no!
Yeah.
Go ahead and make an. This is definitely going to be athletics because you're not trained in any monk ways. You don't know how to parkour as a robot. So go ahead and make an athletics check. You guys just watch as you guys turn and you don't see Riggington next to you, and you just look and be like, start to, not even looking for ledges, dig it into the wall.
He's like a little
Riggington-
kid. Gosh, he just caught what you do.
12, you get about 1 story. You start to climb and you watch and you're like, you do pretty well for a fucking metallic structure. But given your recent awakening from your deep slumber and your construct being and a 12, you make it about 1 story, and your arm reaches up and grabs like a windowsill, and you feel it begin to crack under. And you're like, shit, I gotta shift a little bit. And you go to shift your left leg. So you got your right leg on this cracking windowsill. You go to reach your left leg to one of the nearby stone outcroppings. And as that hits, that just breaks away as well. And then you feel yourself free falling backwards.
Feather fall, cast feather fall.
Okay,
That's
you guys, you guys watch as he begins to fall backwards. Now everyone's like, oh, like even a higher pitch, like fucking, like it's like a piano falling down from like an open window. And as he falls back, you watch as he kind of extends one of his hands out, and from underneath one of his iron platings, you watch as just a single white feather just kind of flows up in the air, and there's just this flash of runes all across his body from where that feather kind of creeped through the parts of his armor. There's just this white flash as all the runes, almost like this wave of effect, just goes throughout his entire body, and you watch him just fall slowly, just very, very lightly, like a little bubble, just onto the ground. All the runes kind of pulsating white, and as he lands, it's a similar quietness to Sullivan's landing, and then all the runes fade out.
Alright, you fucking show off.
You
Go
don't
ahead
want
and
to talk.
Yeah, but he used magic.
Rigaton,
I used my
Go ahead and
skills.
make sure you mark that spell slot.
So everyone apparently wants to show me up now.
Hey, gotta keep the competition fresh. You know, we don't want you getting soft on us and, you know, thinking you're the best bard in Taldora.
Oh, then I guess I'm gonna just have to keep trying harder then. Ted.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You just gotta start shredding on that lute, man. Or that guitar, or whatever you carry with you.
I think we're all trying enough. It's been an eventful 4 days, that's for sure.
I gotta hone my skills for when I finally see that black binding lady and I could punch her in her throat.
Right. Anyways, now that we are done showing off, should we head to the lodge?
Let's go ahead.
All right, you guys look back as the building that you climbed, and you broke a little property damage, Ringington. As you guys start to walk off, the crowd kind of gathered around you, and a couple come up and like shake your hand and all that, and you feel a couple kids kind of come up behind you, Ringington, and like cling, 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 like smack on the back of your calf and all that. Just kind of people coming up and enjoying that sudden display. But as you guys start to make your way off, and the crowd kind of gathers around you, you do hear like a "What the fuck?" from you. Turn back and you see just a guy come out of the building and just looking up like super confused and like asking like, "What the fuck was that?" And then the one person's like, "I don't know. It was like a giant robot." And they're just kind of like talking.
I really wanted to thunderclap the kids, but I'm not gonna.
No!
That's
You
fine.
still-
I made that.
I'll
motion.
backtrack just for that.
No.
I want to cast level 2 Thunder Wave and fucking punch the ground.
just missed.
Dude, I was like tempted, like Ringington's gonna scream "danger" and just start shooting the ground with like.
No.
We're gonna get run out of this town.
Or
You do,
fucking.
Rigaton, it is worth noting that this is it's not a hostile thing, but as you're holding the staff in your hand, one of the kids that comes up and knocks behind you, before they even touch you, you do feel this kind of like slight tug in the back of your mind, and this like little ding bell that goes off, and you instantly feel a presence behind you, and then you feel the knock, ding ding, like on the back of your calf,
Okay.
and you're like, huh, that's what that does. So you kind of sense the kid knock even before he hit. So you were not surprised by it.
I'm not gonna do anything. I was just
No, I know.
joking
I'm
about.
just saying
I'm
that was part of
Alright.
what you would notice with now the staff attuned to you.
I'm not that evil.
But you guys do complete your rest of the way to the lodge. The crowd kind of dispersing, but as you make it there, a couple of people that are around now, kind of, if they haven't connected the dots before, they do now, and you do definitely feel that your presence here is known if it wasn't already from that display. But you guys do eventually make it to the lodge, and you see that the square where the battle was before, it's all cleaned up now. You see it looks like there's a lot of wheel marks and foot traffic through the grass that kind of surrounds the stone plaza from all the carts being moved. The cart that Ringington was part of, all the carts at the general around this time are now gone. So, Ringington, your previous capture, I guess you could say, that gentleman is now gone. And the lodge is generally just being avoided for the time being, and there's still a lot of markings, scratches from the conflict. The stage is ruined. It's being cleared out at this point. It is exactly like the butchery, the the alchemical fire that was utilized in both the butchery and the stages bearing down definitely does its job. But that's the only real noticeable point of damage, but you guys do see a bit of a gathering in front of the lodge, the actual doors which lead upstairs behind where the main plaza is and up to the front door.
Well, looks like they're expecting us. Let's not keep them waiting any longer.
I'd hope so. They did send us on this quest after.
Yeah.
Guys, make your way up to the front of the lodge doors.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mhm.
And as you guys get there, you do see it's a lot of townspeople that have kind of gathered there. But you do see one gentleman that you recognize. He kind of like you know as a lodge member, you just haven't really interfaced with him. He was at the present meeting with Renston and all that, and he snuck up on you. It's the dark-haired, dark-skinned gentleman, kind of like this curly mustache and these braided hair that goes back and a long bow over his shoulder. He kind of looks to see you guys approaching, and kind of gives a nod in your direction, and then opens up the door to the lodge and moves inside, but leaves the door open. And after he notices you, the rest of the townspeople kind of notice and kind of put on their faces and kind of just all stand flanking the two doors, but it looks like your presence is definitely expected.
Sullivan's gonna kind of like bow to everybody and be like, "Oh, thank you, my good sir. Oh, thank you, madam." Like just kind of like sarcastically bowing to people as he's walking through.
And you see some of them do give into it because they don't really know what to do in this awkward moment. And some of them, you do hear a couple whisper like, "Thank you," and kind of like, you know.
Aegon just rolls his eyes at Sullivan's.
But they are flanking the two doors like a welcoming thing. But there's just general chatter as well too. It seems like this is almost like an impromptu town meeting of sorts. But the door, after the gentleman entered, the door did open and is now ajar.
Guess
Step in first, I guess.
yeah.
And as you guys all make your way in, a couple of the people follow you in as well. Closed door behind you. You're now inside the lodge for the second time. With Rigaton, you were in here before. The lodge is this very, very fine, like elven structure building, where it's a large construction. So you would imagine it would be maybe like multiple floors or multiple rooms. As you come in, there's just a small antechamber, and then another set of doors, and then those are already open. And looking out, it's just one large room with these wooden pillars that kind of go up. It's just one large open room that kind of echoes. Tables off to some of the sides, but before you, there's just this long carpet, very nice and like warm interior that kind of leads up to this strange platform with all these chairs and all that. It almost looks like think of like a modern day courtroom, I guess, with like how the chairs are set up and all that. But it's just more presently and homely feeling. But it's definitely weird, like looking at it from the outside and thinking that's probably just a large manor of some sort, but it is just one large antechamber. But as you guys move in, there's a good amount of people in here. It looks like there's a lot of just townsfolk and civilians and all that, just kind of present. Notice your arrival, and then you do look up on the platform, and you can see far more people that were here up on the platforms than your original first meeting concerning Renston and the Moon Mistress. However, a lot of the figures you do recognize, and you kind of connect the dots. This is probably the remaining of them, but you do see up on the platform the full lodge members. You see, they were there before, and you were searching them out. Sullivan, you see two halflings, male and a female, kind of sitting next to each other. You heard them referred to as the Bittermints, Yolissa and Navarro. You see that the dark-skinned and dark-haired gentleman, you've heard him referred to as Jock Fritz. He is up on one of the seats. You do see Warskin, the Dragonborn bard that you met with, or Aelion.
Yep, Aeon's gonna quickly wave over to him.
He gives you like a quick nod and recognizes your arrival. You see Sven. You see the Mawhorns, the two gentlemen who run both sides of the dock, Gent and Keem. And I believe that's all the members. You do see Eldrin front and center. You see his wife next to him. And then you do see Perrin dressed up a little bit better. When you found her yesterday, she was kind of beat up and all that, but she seems to be cleaned up, and she does seem to have a very familiar Knoll child in her hands.
Woo!
Kind of has her propped up. And then there's only one person you don't see, and that's Renston.
That's
But as you guys enter, Eldrin kind of steps up. Do you guys all kind of approach up to the...
Yes.
yeah, of course.
As you guys approach, Eldrin presents himself kind of older now looking, though elven age can be deceptive, but he is a... And you haven't met any of these people before, Rigaton, but I would say you at least heard them mention. This is the Lodge. These are they're community members that manage different parts of this town, but they're the local guidance and leadership, though they're just a smattering of random fucking people. Of all different backgrounds and all that. The only one that you interfaced with was Sven, which you see him up there. He's the captain of the Sunrise Militia, as they're called. He's the captain of the watch, if you will. He's the law of the hand, and he's definitely good at what he does. Gorbo would attest to that. But as you guys all step up, the main figure seems to present himself here is a high elf, very long ears, slick back, kind of black, but spots of gray and white in his hair, but it's kind of pushed back behind his ears. Very fine features, elven, but he looks a little bit older now. But as I said, elven age. He could be very old for all you know. But this is Eldrin. He is the main leader of the lodge. And he has these very fine robes that have all these different markings and symbols that are of the Moonweaver across his robes, but he is up front and center as you guys approach. And he kind of opens up his mouth. Welcome. I hope you've all had a good night's rest.
Oh yes, especially after yesterday.
Especially yesterday, yes. I'm noticing something, and you see him kind of he kind of notices you, Rayton, and Sven, who's close to him, kind of leans in and whispers, and he shakes his head. And he looks across each of you, kind of putting out a finger, counting heads. Seems you're missing one.
That would be she will not be coming.
Yorna. What happened?
Just an inter-party conflict, really. She chose to go her own way, I suppose.
Then we will not pry. But thank you for at least explaining that.
Of course.
Well, in that case, welcome, all of you. Believe me, we won't hold you here for long, but we figured it would be best to present this before the town and everybody. Thank you. All of you. Without your, frankly, prying in some cases, but overall interest in this town and of some of its strange corners, none of this may have come to light until it was too late. And as such, I think it goes without saying that you've done a great deed to this town and are certainly in all our debts. And he kind of gives a nice solemn bow. The rest of them kind of bow around, but definitely seems like there's definitely an air of respect for all of you guys in the center of this building. Kind of looks up to you. Well, Perrin kind of extends a hand out. You see Perrin, she kind of steps up, and she does have the child in her hands. Instantly looking, especially you, Wryn, kind of sizing her up. The child looks healthier, like noticeably. Which is strange to you because you know diseases, they can take their toll. Especially one like this where it hasn't completely ravaged the body, but it looks like it was a speedy recovery. It's not fully there yet, but it's definitely interesting looking at it. I will say that since you have druidic magics, you would be familiar with certain restoration capabilities where you can quickly expunge a disease from a system. Though localized and for one singular person, but you figure that's probably what's at play here. She looks definitely healthier. But Perrin steps up, and you also notice Perrin cleaner clothes, better looking. Sleeves are rolled up. And Sullivan, Wryn, you notice the child. Sullivan, you kind of look at Perrin, kind of give her a quick size. No markings across her arms. The knowledge and information you provided her, she brought it before Eldrin, and he did his work.
Sick.
But she kind of steps up. First and foremost, hello everybody. Thank you for yesterday, and thank you for coming today. First and foremost, since it's kind of the topic, this little girl, she kind of holds it up. She's on the road to recovery, and I just want to put out my heartfelt thanks. She's been a very informative subject. I feel like there's strides to be made here with white tip, the disease that you witnessed firsthand. It would take more time, but she is certainly a step. And quite frankly, even beyond my rescue, because I would have been fucking dead, beyond my rescue, this is the research I was looking for. You provided me with exactly what I sought out in that marsh for, so I will hopefully not have to return for a while. I can work with what I've learned. But I think she get this out of the way. And she looks to you, Wryn, Perrin. You said you have a home for her.
Yes, I actually have quite a good idea of where I could take her.
Then I will trust you. And you see Perrin kind of step down from the steps and bring the child over. And you see the child cleaner, healthier, does have robes around her. Very, very nice, simple kind of wrappings. But she just looks better, and she hands.
Does she have white tips in her fur still?
Yes, there is. She was. So, just for reference, the white tip is, as the disease describes, is the main qualifying factor. The ones you saw within the subterranean cavern were covered. Their tip, the entire fur was white. Their eyes were white, and they were just manic. This child, she had most of her white. However, the left side of her face and a lot of her body only had normal splotches, but it was mainly her face. The left side of her face, there was a clear eye, and you could just tell that it didn't fully succumb to it yet. But there are still white. There's still white splotches, but they're less, and it looks more along the lines of the large gnoll that lit himself on fire yesterday or the day before, and the hunters that you saw, the ones that had the bows. They looked a little bit less infected. She looks more along those lines. But you caught her at a good time. But she does hand the child towards you, Wryn.
Yeah, Wryn takes her. Hello there, little one. And, just cradles.
Yeah,
I haven't just gonna stare at the baby.
Yeah, you just feel a presence over your shoulder and of Brigantin kind of close. But Perrin kind of whispering now, personal to you. She does not speak. She's very young. The disease is not fully out of her system yet. It was nasty, but Eldrin managed to work some of his healing magics and managed to restore a lot of her physicality. She needs care. Watch her for these next couple days. If you take care of her and do a good enough job, you should be able to help her expunge the remainder of the infection and disease from her body. But just keep an eye on her, please.
Of course. I will definitely be sure to watch over her. Thank you, Perrin.
Of course. Thank you. And Perrin walks her way back up. Kind of passes you, Sullivan, and gives you a quick wink. And walks up onto the stage and...
I'll wink right back at her.
There you go. Walks up onto the stage and kind of or platform and just takes her seat. Seemed like her part of it was done. Naldra now. Well, now that that's out of the way, only other thing, we don't need details. Perrin was kind enough to provide a lot, so we're not going to keep you here. There is just one thing I would like to add. As you may have noticed, my son, Renston, is not here. And he won't be staying in Drynna. Perrin, her organization, her people, if you will, have a way to get someone on the right path. Sir Renston will be leaving Drynna. He will be going with Perrin back to her home, and hopefully find a better purpose. But I don't believe he's suited, nor would he want to be here amongst the lodge. So you kind of have a.
Sullivan will just give a firm nod at that. Like, doesn't say.
Yeah, he kind of has like a solemn look on his face, but you can tell Reston's not going to be incarcerated or anything like that. But he's definitely not. His actions did have ripples, and he needs to pay for them. But it's left vague exactly what his fate is. But Eldrin leaves it at that. Now, why I'm sure a lot of you are here. Your reward, Sven. He kind of looks over to Sven. Oh, Yolissa, please, and looks over to the halfling. And you do notice Sullivan, the halfling female, which you were referenced to for being membership by commerce, was her deal. So she was the one that was that you inquired about. And you see next to her the gentleman that answered the door, the human kind of glass Wilfred, standing next to her, and they both present. So now it's Perrin has taken a seat, and now it's Sven and Miss Bittermint and Wilfred standing next to Eldrin, and you see Sven has a chest. And you also notice Eldrin has something slung over his shoulder as well. You don't exactly see what it is. First and foremost, the stranger of the request, Yolissa. You see the halfling kind of step up. Yeah, which one of you is Sullivan?
That's me.
Oh, yes. Please step up.
He jogs right on up. He's like a giddy little kid.
The rest of you can hear it, but it's more of a kind of a personal conversation. But you all get the general gist. But Yolissa kind of looks to you. Hi. I'm gonna be brutally honest. Wilfred, and she kind of looks to Wilfred, but kind of has like a kind of a disdain look on her face. Gave me a note yesterday. All it said was Sullivan and Dickhead. But I kind of see that maybe he was a little bit mistaken, and Wilfred at this point is kind of like adjusts his glasses, kind of have like a bead of sweat going down.
I was especially a dickhead to Wilfred, and I apologize, Wilfred. He was right to write that down. But in any case, go ahead, continue.
No. Well, obviously, maybe it was just before all this proceedings and developments, if you will. But I think we have something for you. And you see Wilfred kind of push through his paperwork and all that, and kind of pull something out, and it looks to be a long, kind of nicely made piece of paper. And you see he hands that with a board to Yolissa with a quill, kind of this portable ink, kind of stationed right next to her, and she kind of presents over. And she's a halfling, so she's kind of staying up on the steps. So when you present her, it's kind of eye level for where she's holding the board and the parchment. And you see on the parchment, it is a deed / relinquishment of property to the town of Drynna for Morin Isle. And the designation that it's your spot to do with what you wish, but you do, reading through it, there is definitely something there. And you kind of look over to Eldrin, and he just has a very fucking amused look on his face.
Oh boy.
There's something there that is referring to the hallowed nature of that spot. That it was once a hallowed spot for the Moonweaver. And as such, it specifically says that if you take up this property, no matter what you do, there may be consequences. But you have to figure out how to circumvent the Moon Mistress's presence there. Or, I'm sorry, the Moonweaver's presence. Not the Moon Mistress, it's the Moonweaver. That spot was a hallowed, as in like divine spot at one point, but it's been left to decay. So there might not be any issues. Or there might be. You don't know. But Eldrin looks amused, and that is specifically in there, but there is a sign down there for a name.
He's gonna just slowly look up at Eldrin. Is he within like regular talking range?
It's not a sinister. Yeah, it's not a sinister looking amused, but it just looks like he's He had the same look yesterday when you asked for a plot of land. But you can look up. Yeah, all of you guys hear what's going on. It's just Sullivan is presenting for this. But yes, you can talk to Eldrin.
I assume you know what's going on with all that whole isle and why it's in disarray.
Well, it's just from what we understand, the Moonweaver. And you see him kind of stop himself for a second and kind of smile and nod his head. Sehanine, as her name is, she had us relinquish the spot some time ago. I was part of it, but we have no idea what would happen if you attempted to
relinquish. Like she contacted you and said, "Get whatever's off of there out."
I had superiors and peers with me at the time, but I do have a word or two with the lady. She is far beyond the divine gates, but I hold her favor and power. And yes, it was kind of in a strange, not quite words way. Yes, the spot was not to be held anymore. Not for any danger, but I think she just wanted us to be here in Drynna, and within my home and within the festival.
What the hell are you giving it to me for then? I don't want to get cursed by the Moonweaver. I've already dealt with enough moon crap this past couple of days.
I don't think it wouldn't necessarily be any curse. It's a hallowed spot, as in it belongs to her.
Well, I don't worship the Moonweaver. I don't want to make a inn or whatever I want to make there and have to deal with her.
Then that is your decision to make, but it would be a difficulty with the spot. There may be trials, there may not be. There might not be any interference, there may be. It's her will. The spot may be too far bent for her to have any actual influence over it, but if she does have influence, then maybe she'll have a trial for you? He looks unsure.
Alright, can I... Is it out of character? Is there a... Like, can I walk up the steps and, like, reach up to, like, shake his hand if I needed to?
Yeah.
Alright. He's gonna quickly jog. He's gonna be like, hold on 1 second. Just hold that thought to the people that are holding out the thing. He's gonna jog up real quick to Eldrin. He's not gonna, like, walk up behind the lodge members and be like, yo, what's up? Like, he's just gonna hold his hand out and he's gonna be like, can I at least have you shake on that you'll have our support if some shit does happen? Because, like, I don't know anything about that. You seem to have, like you said, she seemed to be more in your favor. Can I at least get your word that you're going to back us up on this?
Yeah, as you're saying this, there's already a word on his tongue, and right as you finish, absolutely, I am so interested in to see where this goes. He puts out his hand.
Alright.
It seems more playful than anything. You have no idea. Also, the deed is just a relinquishment of land. You don't have to do anything with it. But it is yours. But he's just saying anything that you do on it, he has no idea if there would be any presence from the Moonweaver residing there. He just doesn't know.
He'll be like, alright, I'll shake his hand and I'll be like, is there a different plot of land that doesn't involve, like, some goddess that might mess with us or something like that? I don't mean to sound ungrateful, but I didn't know this was going to be part of the deal.
No, absolutely. You can certainly take a plot of land. Our northern district, kind of out towards the other exit of town, the much less useful, not the Parchwood Way, there would be a spot of land there. We would have to write up a new deed. Or, to tell you the truth, if it's something you want to think on, there would be plenty of land for you to claim on the normal side of Drynna. The Isle...
You know what? He's going to come off, he's going to be like, I'm not a bitch. And he's just going to move down to all of them and be like, I know if some shit does happen, my group's got my back. And he's just going to snatch the quill up, dip it in, and quickly sign.
Elgin does say one more thing as you're going. This kind of more thing. Oh, and believe me, Sehanine, she wouldn't have any malicious, not unless if you had malicious intent. It's more of a... Her presence is still there. It's still felt. Who knows what that means?
Yeah, well, the last person we dealt with that said they were a Moonweaver worshiper ended up being a sadistic fuck that left town last night. I'm not gonna mention any names, but yeah, I'm sure you can figure out who I'm talking about. So hopefully it's not. Anything like that. And he's just gonna be like, well, I guess this is mine now. And he's just gonna sign very quickly. It doesn't look like he's ever signed a signature before, but it's just Sullivan Kell, just very quickly on the.
Okay. You're
thing.
signing your name.
And the last L, it'll have it'll kind of like cut down and then kind of like curve off to the right, like how people like finish off their signatures with little like.
Yeah. All of you guys kind of seem like Sullivan, kind of like back on one foot, kind of like cocky looking, and just give a nice little twirls to his sign. But you do sign, and she goes and rolls it up, and you see him marking kind of stuff down in his book. Wilfred is, and they kind of tuck it into there, but Yolissa looks back to you. Thank you, Sullivan Dickhead. And she kind of like shuffles back up.
You are quite welcome. I'm just gonna smile at Wilfred. Is Wilfred within range right now?
He's right in front of you, and as she says that and kind of shuffles little halfling, he's like, ugh.
Sullivan's just gonna just grin from ear to ear and just be like, "You're quite welcome," and he'll just give like Wilfred like a little pat on the shoulder, just like a little playful like jab. And
he kind of tenses at that, but you can definitely tell that it was definitely a jab at it. But the land is now yours, so you now own Morin Isle and a hallowed spot to the Moonweaver. But they kind of shuffle off, and then now it's just Sven and Eldrin. And as Sullivan walks back and goes with the group, and I guess for the final leg of it, for all of you, your reward. And Sven starts to take a couple steps downstairs. So does Eldrin as well. Now walking down to you guys, and as he's walking towards you, Eldrin or Sven now speaks up. We tried our best to get together as much as we can for you guys, but with certain damages and whatnot going on, we came to a bit of a split. So we got this for you, and he goes and put down this kind of heavy chest and kind of opens it up, and it's just a couple bags of gold, and kind of looks up to you. This is 350 gold pieces to split amongst yourselves. As I said, we were hoping to possibly get more, but this is what we could have spared at the moment. I know a couple of you have partaked in our games on the day of the festival, so hopefully with this together, it would be a sizable sum. But to make up for it, we do have a couple other gifts. And you see now Eldrin kind of step up and kind of almost like just kind of crouching towards the ground, he pulls off what was on his shoulder and kind of unfurls it, and it looks to be just almost wrapped up like a rug style. It just seems to be this rolled cloth, and as he unrolls it, there's just a spread of items there, kind of all strange, just mishmash like objects. But as he extends them out, and Eldrin kind of just stays kneeled for a second, almost like vendor stall style, where he's just sitting on the ground. He has these items out before him. He kind of looks up to all of you. Sven leaves the chest with the gold and walks off. So there's now 350 gold pieces sitting there. But Eldrin goes on and says, I've collected a few items over the years that may interest a group such as yourself, adventuring types. And it's a bit of a personal collection, but I feel like this may complement the monetary reward as well. You guys have a pick of 2 of these 4 items to go with the 350 gold pieces, but I'll leave it amongst yourselves to decide. And you see 4 items out before you. And Eldrin just stays seated there.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah, any of you guys who you guys get a pick of 2 of these 4 items. Let me see real quick.
And
So this is
what
amongst
are
you
they?
guys to decide. Yep, I'm just getting all the details up. The first one that you see, all the way to the right, it looks to be an amulet. Kind of very simply made. It kind of has a standard loop. It has a wooden talisman medallion at it, and it kind of looks like it looks sort of like a leaf / pine cone / chunk of flesh. It just looks like a wood carved something. It almost looks like just a fucking drunkard just came up and started carving a piece of wood and slapped it on a necklace. But yeah, it kind of, and as you guys kind of approach and just study it and all that, it gives off a strange smell. It kind of smells cedary / like it's been spilled with many sorts of alcohols all over it. It's kind of interesting. But Elgin goes on. As far as I know, I don't know all the capabilities of these items, or at least their origins / their full names, I guess you could say. But I've been told this is referred to as an amulet of the drunkard. If you wear this and have it on your person, it gives alcohol healing properties, as in it would mend your wounds and fix bodily issues.
Is Sullivan hearing this?
Yeah, these items are just out before you.
He's gonna step forward and be like, would that work with other magical items?
What do you have?
I mean, as long as the alcohol is I've heard it only works once a day, but if you drink a pint of beer, ale, meat, or wine, you regain health. It'll cure wounds, and then you can't use it until the next morning.
All right, we'll keep that on the back burner because that certainly could work well with something I have. What's the next one?
The next one, and you look to the right of that, and it looks to be a pan flute. All these different, it looks kind of bamboo-ish and all that, but it's just these, it's like a pan flute, of all these different sized tubes that are wound together. It has this leather cord that goes across it, and at the end of the leather cord, that's kind of, you can like sling it over your shoulder or something like that, or just keep it on your person. There's, looks to be a little hanging carving of a rat. And then as you look across that leather strap, it's just all these strange depictions of just mice and rats running across it. Elgin speaks up. This is referred to as pipes of the sewers. Quite frankly, it kind of freaks me out, but it gives you command over rats. You can summon rats from surrounding environments and control.
Reddington perks up at this and is thinking fur friends.
You can summon rats and control them. It is a musical instrument as well, and yeah, larger rats are indifferent to you as you have it on your person. It's just a strange object, but rats do have to be in the vicinity. But if there are any, they would swarm.
Oh my god.
Rather gross, but very interesting.
Yeah, it's
They could be
certainly strong.
friends.
Yeah, I mean, if you find yourself in sewers, you could be a rat king.
Kind of fit.
The next
I
one.
wouldn't mind.
The next one, and then to the right of that, you see. Second.
Staff of the Fireball.
Oh god.
Yeah, that's the next one. Next one, it's looks to be like a wooden box. It's kind of long, and he kind of opens. He's like, "Oh shit!" and he like opens it up, and inside this box is just like a standard wooden box. There's 4 cushions in there, and on 3 of those 4 cushions, there's an object. It looks like there was a 4th one, but it's not in the set. But it's just 3 of these little. They look like metallic hoops or something like that. It's like this large, very, very finely made metallic little bauble that has a loop that goes around, almost like it would hook or loop onto something. And he kind of looks to each of you and looks up. These are referred to as murmurs. Unfortunately, I don't have the 4th one. It was delivered to me like this. But while you're wearing one, whoever's wearing one of the 3, they can talk to each other. Practically, across distances. It just requires a tap on the ear that it's on, and it would allow you to speak over a distance. It's not. I believe it's within 1 mile of each other.
Oh.
Still pretty
That's
handy.
interesting.
There's
Yeah, and as I said, I don't have the 4th, but there's the 3rd one. Oh, and the The final one, this one, kind of along the lines of the sewers, the pipe one, it kind of freaks me out a bit. And you see, make sure I get this up. You see, they look like these gloves, these fingerless gloves that are kind of looking at them though, and Eldrin's kind of keeping a distance. They are weird looking. The gloves look kind of fleshy, chitinous in some places. It just has some sort of biological element to it, but they just look like fingerless gloves beyond that. It's just the material looks weird. And he kind of like prods it and flips over, and as he does, you watch some of the fingers like flick in place.
Ooh.
But he says, as far as these items, they're referred to as living gloves. If you wear them, they do bond to your flesh. So you can't take them off, but they will give you incredible skills in one environment, I guess, of a skill set. These ones, I've heard, give you skill set with Thieves' Tool. The ability to pick locks and to sneak your way and break into places, and it's quite a bonus it gives you with wearing these. They just make you deft with your hands. You can't take them
Who
off,
would
though.
ever need that in our group?
Well, I certainly won't be taking those.
Yeah.
You can't take them off under normal circumstances, but it would give you that skill plus a bit of boost in that skill.
That's pretty cool. He's gonna turn it back to the group. If it were up to me, guys, like I said, I have something that could coincide with the amulet, but we already have a couple healers in our group, so I'm thinking maybe the rat flute and the murmurs.
I do like the
But-
murmur.
For once, Sullivan, we actually seem to be on the same page.
Well, there you go.
What about you?
Rats.
Gorbo, what do you think?
Gorbo definitely want the rats. Don't know about the.
So the way I'm seeing it is like we could be walking with one of those earrings on, and then we just hear another voice that isn't ours, and we find the fourth ring, and then it's just like, hey, that's pretty cool. We can meet like some really cool person.
Yeah, it loops on your ear. It's an earpiece. So it's like a spy like headset, but it's just a metal thing that hooks in,
Spy Kids headset.
and it has a gem on it. And when you place your finger, it's a bonus action. But when you place a finger on there, you can speak within a mile to whoever's wearing it. Like they'll hear it.
I
So if you guys are separated, you guys can talk to each other. But it's only 3. It's only 3 of them.
Unless there's any objections, I think we know what we're gonna take.
The rat
Yeah.
and the murmurs, I think the rat flute and the murmurs seem like the two things we're focused on. Is that right, everybody?
Rats.
Yeah.
We could be my friends.
Seems true.
All right. No, then whoever wishes to take them, go right ahead, and you can see them.
What are the colors of the murmurs or whatever they're called?
They just seem black.
They're all
like
the same color. I thought they were different colors.
no, it's just all the same item. It's just it's in a box of what seems like it had 4 in it, but the 4th one's just gone. It's not there. So the 4th one is somewhere, but the 3, whoever wears it, it's just a standard looking thing that's hooked into your ear. It's not attunement or anything. You just have to have it in your ear, and you can speak to the other 2.
I don't know about any of you guys, but I feel like taking one of these murmurs. Whoever else wants the rat flute, that's pretty fucking badass. You guys can have that. It seemed like Riggington might want
Rats.
it. But wait, Riggington, didn't you get the staff?
I think Aelion should get
Yeah,
it.
Aelion should get the flute since he's a
Well,
Alien, please enter. Please call the rats for me.
Do we really need rats right now, Big Guy?
I really want a pet.
I could
When we
be
go-
a giant rat.
When we
Yeah,
go back
Riggington's
to the
doing
when we
it.
go back to the inn, we should try the flute out. Sullivan's gonna reach in and pick one of the earpieces up, and he'll be like, "I'm gonna hold on to this one if anybody else wants to take the other 2."
okay, and I will say this is Eldrin just kind of giving the information because it's not coming out of the. But I'll just explain it. The flute or the pipes, you do have to be proficient with wind instruments to use it. So
Oh.
yeah, you either
Yeah,
have to get
Aelion
training.
would probably be the only person then.
Yeah.
You either have to
Aelion.
get training to play it, or it would be an Aelion thing. But essentially, when you play it, it has 3 charges, and you can expend 1 to 3 to summon a swarm of rats.
I guess I
Which
can't
is-
play the flute because I can't breathe.
You could. I will say you could, but you need training in wind instruments.
I want Aelion to.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
gotta
you
I'd
can get
rather have
proficiency in wind, but if you don't know how to play it, you just can't do the magic. But it summons a swarm of rats, and then it needs to be in a
Aelion.
place where rats are normal. And
Aelion's the Rat
then,
King now.
yeah, and then I think beyond that, just any giant rats are indifferent towards you. So whoever has the flutes, giant rats, or rats is one. But you can basically summon rats to fight.
He's the fucking Rat King.
So someone could just play there and just be like, and all these rats would come out and just like across people.
And then I could be the giant rat.
Yeah.
And just like rat
You could be like the general of the Rat Army.
We're the rats. We
Rat.
play at night.
No,
Get
we're
hit.
not doing that
We're
again.
the rats.
Aelion, command them to crawl over my body.
No, that's gross. Okay,
I love it.
okay, so I will take that. What's it called?
Pipe of the sewers.
You.
You gonna add that? It does require attunement.
Is it an empty toilet paper roll with holes in it?
No, I
There's
can
a
send a
sewer
picture.
pipe.
I can send a picture of what it looks like.
That's what I'm picturing.
The spy's murmur, as it's the full name is, the spy's murmur
I
doesn't
already
have.
added it.
Yeah, you guys. So each of you, whoever decides, you can each add that. For that, I believe it's a bonus action.
Does say requires attunement.
Oh, it does. I
Yeah.
didn't realize that. Yeah, so each of you have to attune to one of these. But it says within 1 mile, as a bonus action, you can allow that creature to hear everything. You can end this effect, and ends this incapacitated. So what you can do is that I'll say if it's not in combat, you can turn it off and on. So you can just say one thing, turn it off, or you can just keep it on, and then they can hear everything you say. And it's the other two that are listening. They speak within each other.
Okay. Yeah, Sullivan took 1, so there's 2 left.
So, who
Guess.
wants our other 2 telepathic?
I guess I'll take one then. And she'll just.
Rington, I will say this earpiece. There's no way for you to use it.
I'm not gonna. I wasn't
Yeah,
even gonna take it.
it's not suited for you. You could play the instrument. You just have to find a way. But yeah, there is no way to do this earpiece.
Reagan is not gonna take anything. He just wants everyone else to have stuff.
Yeah.
As
If
much
you
as
gave
he wants
if you gave it
rats.
to Gorbo, everyone would have something attuned to them.
Yeah, give it to
Hello.
Gorbo.
But it's up to you who wants to take the third.
Well, Gorbo, do you want to take this, or should I?
What is it again? It's not the flute, right?
No,
No,
it's
it's the
Alien has
spy
the
headset.
Spy. Yeah.
Oh, I thought we were still talking about the flute.
The McDonald's
no,
workers
Aelion
headset
took the
that you get put on.
Yes,
McDonald's.
Sullivan-
Yo, if it's a McDonald's headset, I'm all for it.
Gorbo's
Yeah,
like,
Sullivan-
welcome to McDonald's, this Gorbo.
We'll take an order.
Sullivan and Wryn have one, so if you took the last one, tune to it, and then you use a bonus action to speak to Sullivan and Wryn over 1 mile, just telepathically. But you three would be the only ones who have them in, so anything you say, each of you can hear, but no one else can.
I mean, yeah,
So
sure.
it's good if you like split into groups, because if Aelion and Rigatin go with somebody, then all of you can talk between each other over 1 mile. But yeah, so if each of you want to take one, whoever's taken 3, just add them to your inventory, attune to them. And if it's Gorbo taking it, then all of you would have one thing attuned to them.
Cool.
Yeah, I
Yep.
took 1. I already marked it as a tune, but I assume we can...
Oh,
It
so
takes
do
an hour,
I need to
yeah.
attune to
yeah.
I need to attune to the pipes?
You need to tune to the pipe. The main reason why is because while you're attuned to it, rats just are indifferent to you. So even though you're not playing it at all times, as long as you're attuned to it and have it on your person, rats just
Okay, I
won't
see.
attack you. And then
Okay.
anytime a rat comes within 30 feet of you, it needs to make a saving throw or it's under your control. And then you can expend 1 to 3 charges to summon swarm of rats, which aren't super powerful creatures, but if you expend all 3 charges and you have 3 swarms of rats to command.
Yeah.
And then
but I'll
they
need to
regain, they regain their charges at dawn.
Okay, and I'll have to take time to attune, right?
Yeah, all of you guys have to take time, but since there's not much going on, you guys can attune to them now, and we'll say you do it when you get back to the inn.
So
But,
how do I add that?
It's called Spy's Murmur. I can add it for you if you want me to.
At this point,
Yeah,
Regan
yeah.
is just staring at Aelion with the flute, eager for him to play it when he gets
Yeah,
back.
and it's a weird, like the headsets are just little metal things with a gem on it that when you put them into your ear. And I will say, as you guys attune to them, it's strange. They don't fit your ear quite right when you put them on, but as you take the time, the hour it spends to attune, the metal seems to shift and kind of condense to perfectly fit around your ear. And then at the end of the hour, that gem kind of pulses once. And as each of you do that, you do feel like they're attuned to your body and they're connected to you.
Are they
So there's
different colored gems? Sorry to interrupt.
They're all the same.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's 3 of the same item. It's just they're all spies murmurs. But yeah, there is no headset. You don't hear it coming out of your ear or anything like that. Like there's no speaker. But since it's attuned to you, when you touch the crystal, it's just telepathically. You hear it in your mind. So no one else can hear it, even if they get close to the object. It's just within your head. But it's attuned. And Aeon, the pipes, they're nice, but they're kind of like you kind of feel like along the insides they're kind of damp and all that. It kind of has a strange smell to it. It's not great, but there is definitely magic to it. And as you attune to it, you do feel like a part of it has protected you from some sort of being. And you do know that you know all the properties, so you know if rats come within a certain distance of you, they won't attack you. But you can also gain control over them and command them. And it's also an instrument that you can play. So if you ever want to whip out the pipes.
Oh my god, have rats dancing like a little rat show.
Yeah.
I was just thinking that.
You're the Pied Piper.
You could have them dance.
He is the Pied Piper.
But these aren't so pleasant, but
Yeah, the 2 things that didn't seem that great were the gloves. And as you guys take the items and Eldrin kind of puts it away, you see the gloves kind of like twitch.
Yorna would have fucking taken those in a heartbeat.
I'm sure. And I guess that just leaves the goal.
Yeah, the gloves would have given you proficiency in thieves' tools, and they would have doubled the proficiency. And then the drunkard, you would have regained 44 plus 4 whenever you drank alcohol.
Dude,
But
that
only
would have
once a
been
day.
so fucking good with my
Yeah.
wondrous item.
I tried to get 4 interesting items,
Oh,
but
guys,
only 2
you
of
know-
them you could have taken.
Out of character, we could have used the gloves to steal the rest of the item.
Yeah.
You
No,
dummies.
when they're symbiotic, so when you attune to them, they don't come off.
Oh
They just fuse
shit!
to your skin, so you would have like chitinous chunks coming out of
So,
your hand.
Someone have to make
Yeah.
a sacrifice. Someone
Yeah,
have to-
but you would have been real good with thieves' tools. You could have broke it into any lock.
No thanks.
Aw.
But
No.
those 2 are taken back. The gold is presented to you, so you guys can split up 350 gold pieces,
That's
however you
70.
wish.
That's how many?
That's 350, so that's 7 across the 5 of us, that's 70 gold.
Hell yeah.
So all of you guys get 70 gold. All of you guys get 70 gold. All of you guys got magical items, including Rigged and Staff. And as you guys, split up the gold, which you guys kind of like take the gold back and you start to split it, and you're like, oh shit, and you kind of see everyone looking at you. So you just put the gold to the side for right now, but you split it when you guys get back to the inn.
Yeah.
But as you take everything, the chest closes and Sven steps back up. Eldrin, though, stands in front of you, and as you guys situate yourself, well, that about does it. Once again, thank you, and on behalf of all of Drynna, and he kind of puts out his hands and presents, and you hear a lot of people start clapping now. You are our heroes. I believe,
If anybody asks, just tell them the outsiders were the ones that saved the town, I guess. That's our group name that we've decided on.
as Sullivan says that, you watch as everyone kind of turns. Outsiders, yeah, and they all start shaking their heads, and Eldrin's like, so that message is definitely across.
Well,
But he now steps back. Well, you, Sullivan, you own the land. You guys are always welcome here in Drynna whenever you wish, but wherever the wind takes you, wherever the moon shines its path, Sehanine will watch over you.
Hanin.
Sehanine.
Yeah, I said it. Hanin.
Oh my god.
And
I'm sure
Sullivan
she's
just
gonna-
gets this shit-eating
see-
grin on his face.
Yeah, and you see Eldrin kind of looks at you with an equally shit eating, and he just kind of shakes his head. She's gonna have fun with you, that Isle.
Listen,
I
man.
I
if
wouldn't
she-
prod.
If she'd be the first god to ever really contact me, so I'd be, or goddess rather, I'd be pretty excited about it. So we'll see how it goes. I'm gonna save up some money, and we might start out building a little, just one-story house for me and my pals here. But I got bigger plans as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's a decent chunk of land. I don't know about the structure, but it is now yours to do with you wish. And that does include the surrounding jagged rocks and reef. You guys can demolish, change, alter, however you wish, but the complications are yours to solve.
Alrighty, sounds good. I'll just punch them all out.
Oh yeah, that'll work. That'll
Hey,
work.
you've seen me do crazier stuff.
Yes, like dive off
Sven
the
now
building.
kind of Sven kind of pipes up to you guys talking about this. He's like, just don't go coating the Isle in mist and saying you're a manifestation of the Moon Weaver. We would appreciate it.
Well, I'm surprised the Moon Mistress or whatever didn't have to face any trial, or maybe we were the trial and she failed.
Eldrin kind of nods his head and kind of laughs. Might very well be.
Hey,
Do not belong there.
if a bunch of adventurers come up on my island and try to throw down, that'll certainly be a trial I'll be excited to face.
Then we'll send anybody your way.
Oh well, not anybody. Like Yorna can
Nope,
fuck right
you
off.
asked for it, Sullivan. So that's how it's gonna
If
be.
Yorna tries to
Yeah.
come, you can tell her to fuck off. But anybody else that's cool. I mean, even Redson, if he gets back from that training or whatever you mentioned, tell him he's welcome. You could tell him Sullivan told him that.
You see Perrin, who's kind of bandaged your hand. The hand that had it looked like all those bludgeoning and piercing. She's kind of bandaged and just tending to it. Oh, hopefully I can whip him into shape, but he's gonna be far from here for a bit of time.
Well, if we see
The
you
order's
around,
gonna have
Perrin,
fun
we'll
with
be sure to ask about your order and see how he's doing. And Sullivan's just gonna look over at Sven, and he'll be like, "Well, Captain, I don't usually like working with authority, but you are certainly an exception in my book." And he's just gonna put out his hand for Sven to shake.
And you kind of and at this point, a lot of the lodge members are now approaching you guys. Elion Warskin kind of walks up to you and gives you a firm pat on the back and is just talking about the flute with you. Everyone's just kind of gathering around. You see the Bittermints kind of going over their paperwork that you signed, Sullivan. Everyone just seems to be gathering at this point. But Sven does come over and firmly shake your hand. You said that, I believe, the first day that we came in, and I hope you stick with that because authority can fuck us. But I think what does bind people together is trying to do the right thing. And y'all did that. So
Indeed, we did. Alright, I guess we should go say goodbye to Mortimer, and I guess, do the little... I think you have to sit with that flute for a little while before you can use it or something. I don't know how magic stuff works, but I think I have to do the same thing with this headset here, but we'll be heading out after that.
Yep, we might not be back in Drynna for quite a long time.
Yep, it certainly depends on where the road takes us.
and hopefully it takes you to much higher places than here. I think you guys have the makings to be a force of good in Taldora. Maybe beyond.
Or force of chaos. Who knows?
Well,
Um,
they go hand in hand. I think, and he kind of smirks his face and kind of has a strange look across his face, kind of mischievous. They go hand in hand. And sometimes that makes for the most righteous kind of people.
well then, I suppose now that everything's settled, we should go give our goodbyes.
Yes, and goodbye to you outsiders. Welcome here. You'll always be welcome in friendly faces, and Drynna will greet you.
Pretty well.
Adios, everybody. Remember the outsiders. We'll probably be back to build a little house on Morin Isle, so don't forget about us.
Once again, everyone's just kind of murmuring. As you guys all turn to leave, Sven just goes, "Oh, and Gorbo, the next time that you come back through, expect a rematch."
Gorbo's gonna get a huge grin on his face, and he says, "Gorbo win."
You broke up.
One more time.
You were too forceful.
Gorbo's gonna get a smile on his face and say, "Gorbo win again."
That's twice.
It's twice.
He said Gorbo win again. I heard him.
Thank you, Brandon.
That is definitely not up for you to decide. Not if I have anything to say about it. You see him kind of, crack his knuckles and stretch out his back. Just you be ready.
Gorbo look forward to it.
All right. He turns and goes back to his business, and you do see now everyone's starting to disperse. The lodge is starting to talk amongst themselves. Perrin and Eldrin, you can see deliberately kind of approach each other and begin talking, and they usher out of the space. But you guys exit the lodge with a lot of the other townsfolk, and still an overcast kind of morning. Looks like rain is still coming, but definitely a good experience. But you guys have your reward. Wryn, the child is relaxed. She looks drowsy, sleepy. It looks like there's a lot that happened the past days for a child to bear, but she is accepting of your embrace, and she is with you for the ride right now. But she does not talk. She is too young.
Yeah.
Just little squeaks and yawns and whatnot, but you have her with you.
Oh yeah, she's just holding on to it.
Sullivan's gonna walk up and just be like, "Oh, you are the cutest thing, I have to admit. When you get old enough, Uncle Sullivan's gonna teach you how to punch people in the face with pride."
Oh well, okay, maybe not. Maybe
Can I
not.
hold the child?
Maybe in a bit. I just want to, watch over her.
You with all your punching, Sullivan. I think she'd more better suited for learning to play an instrument.
Or clapping.
Clapping. Honestly,
Clapping.
seeing a small no thunderclap like you or whatever that is you use, that would be legendary.
Indeed it
Well,
would be.
she could be brought up in the druidic ways.
Oh, but that's stupid.
That's not stupid.
She's already an animal. She doesn't need to shift into other animals.
She's not necessarily an animal.
She's learned to punch things, or clap, or both.
Don't get sassy with me. Let be quiet. Just let her sleep.
How dare you talk to the inner circle member of the outsiders like that?
Shh! You're so loud.
It's the point. We're supposed to attract attention, and that brings more opportunities.
What do you mean more? Just let her sleep.
Oh, fine. Alright, I guess we should go spend an hour at the inn, pack our things, attune to these things, or whatever it's called, and then give Mortimer one big group hug.
Say our final goodbyes.
Let's go!
Hey,
All right.
I guess we're gonna head back to the inn.
It's simple enough. You guys get back to the inn. It is still just Michael there. A couple more patrons. Mortimer is not in sight. You just see him go back up to his room after. But as you walk in, Michael's kind of just wiping down the counter and looks up to you. Oh, hey! I heard about the little get-together in the town square, and it seems like you guys are all squared away.
Indeed. Could you do me a favor real quick? We're going to spend an hour upstairs just kind of vibing for a little bit. When we come back down, we're going to be saying our final goodbyes until we come back to Drynna again. I actually own Morin Isle now, believe it or not. So, yeah.
I wouldn't put it past you being the one to somehow stay claim to that.
Eladrin,
Wonderful.
your leader, the leader of Drynna, said that the Moon Weaver might have some surprises for us out there, so I'm excited to see what those are. If you could do us a favor real quick, though, go get your brother and your mom, and I don't think we've met your dad yet, but go get him so we can say goodbye to him, if you don't mind.
Yeah, you could probably take him from the old stump. Get him over here. Tavern's probably not too busy at this hour.
Yeah, sounds good. We'll be down in an hour. We just got some magical items to mess with. And he kind of like flicks the little gem on his ear that he's already wearing the headset. So.
Yeah, it's as I said, it is the case where as you flick it, it's kind of loose. But you're instantly not knowing how this works. You're like, how the fuck am I put this in my ear? Like it just doesn't fit. But if you guys all, as I said, if you guys all take the hour to spend and talk and just do, it's a short rest essentially, but there's not much you're resting for. Rigiton, if you want to, you did spend a spell. You can do Arcane Recovery if you want to, and regain that spell slot back. So that's the one thing. Oh, and then no, Slow Fall doesn't cost anything, so you don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah. Rigiton spent a part of his power. Sullivan, you were just like, yeah, this is normal. This is mine. This is me.
Myself off.
Yeah, that's
it. That's the only thing that you guys would benefit from for a short rest is Rigiton regaining that spell slot if you want. But all of you guys do attuned. Gorbo, Wryn, Aelion, and Sullivan, or Sullivan, Wryn, and Gorbo. You guys spend time, and each of you, it just Gorbo. The earpiece doesn't fit like at all. Like it doesn't wrap around your ear. It just sits on your ear. But as you kind of focus and just spend time extending out a part of your will, as part of your being, to interconnect with this object, the metal starts to shift and shape and extend out, and it does wrap around your ear and then close in. And once you're fully attuned to it, that crystal flashes that, and you feel like there's a connection, and it's now firmly on your ear. And that goes for each of you. It's all the same process where it just fits around and connects. Aelion, it's less of anything fancy like that because you're not wearing the object, but as you spend time and attune to it, you just get a better feeling of what exactly the enchantment is here. And yeah, if you add it to your sheet, you can read over all the details. It's a lot, but you basically can summon rats, control rats, and part of being attuned to it is just a natural thing where rats just don't attack you. I will say, Aelion, you do take a moment just out of curiosity to give it a quick play. It sounds awful. Like it comes through and it's just like it's just, it doesn't sound like anything pleasant. It's just not great. You would probably have to work with this a bit to actually play a nice melody from it, but just blowing air through it, it's not going to work for you.
This is... And I have to break it in.
But
if
all of you
anybody
guys
can do it in our group, I'm sure it's you. You'll
Yep, all of you guys-
probably master that thing anytime.
Well, I will say all of you guys are now attuned. You all gather in the bottom part of the inn, and you do see a gathering of individuals as requested there. You see Michael. You see his younger brother, the rotund Philip. You see kind of an equally rotund, but definitely more grown into it, the father, which you guys haven't met. You just saw him inside the tavern across the street, which was the Crooked Stump. He looks like a Viking. The kids, just put it into perspective now that you're seeing the full family, because the mother, Cora, is here as well. The kids look simple. Not rough around the edges. They're kids. The mom and dad, Cora, because you fought her, Sullivan, and she's just this hulking mass of muscle, sun bleached hair, this strange glimmering tattoo. And you see the father who's tattooed across the arms and all that. Big long beard and all that. They just look so different. But this is the full Groose family, which the father is Leland, mother is Cora, and then Michael and Philip. But as you guys all come downstairs attuned, you see them all there, kind of talking.
All right, everyone, we gotta get this group hug. I'm not leaving without a group hug, so let's bring it in here, everyone. Come on.
You see the father who has like a tankard in his hand, kind of stands up. Yeah, I got one question to ask you. And he kind of makes his way over to you, Sullivan. I'm just learning about this now. Were you the one who got free lodging at my inn?
That was... I'm not sure what you're talking about. I mean, it was certainly generous sort of deal we got going on here, but I don't remember free lodging.
I wouldn't have it any other way. And he kind of takes his arm right around, big old like bear, like tankard in hand and all that. I heard you guys did some good work.
I guess you could say that.
Yeah, we certainly try.
Yeah, sorry, I've managed a tavern across the street. I'm father of these two little shits, but I'm Leland, and I'm sorry I haven't met you guys earlier, but
No, you're fine, man. You certainly raised two really nice kids, and your wife puts up one hell of a fight, I'll give her that.
she kind of raises a tankard towards you.
To the outsiders, I suppose, and he'll just kind of pull out his weird-looking tankard that he has, the inscribed one, and he'll hold it up, even though there's nothing in it. I'll just be like, to the outsiders.
Yep, all of you guys give one solid toast. Everyone, to the outsiders, to the outsiders. All the things you hear. Mortimer, who joins
Go
you,
outside.
standing up on the table, hoisting up a cup as well. Other patrons in this environment, it's just one solid toast. But Leland then backs away. No, go ahead and say your goodbyes. Just one final note, though, in all seriousness. If you find your way back in Drynna, you can always stay at the Merry Moss, but at least pay next time. Damn expensive.
Hey, that was your son offered it. I took it, man. I just assumed.
No, I know the problem with the storehouse, and he wanted to keep it secret. And he looks over toward Michael. I wouldn't have been mad, but I get it. It was probably a pretty good reward, to tell you the truth. Smart kid.
Yeah, I don't know if you heard though, but I own that island all the way out in the lake, so we might not need to stay in it next time. We might be building our own little place.
You just want to keep rubbing that in everyone's faces, aren't you?
He really does.
Hell yeah, man! Because it's gonna be.
No, that's. You hear actually Cora speak up. No, that's real interesting. I've heard strange things about that place. Old structures and old ruin. I know you guys have been there, but no, that's quite an interesting endeavor.
Well, real quick, while everyone's here, before we leave, a little bit of a drastic idea, but Leland and Cora, just keep it on the back burner. Keep it in mind in case you change your mind. I was actually thinking of actually making an inn out there because it would be such a cool tourist attraction. Might get some more, work with the dockmasters, the boat people out there. We're going to get rid of all the jagged reefs and stuff like that, make it a nice smooth ride. I was thinking about maybe seeing if you guys would want to kind of relocate the Merry Moss Inn out there and, kind of give it a little bit more of a touristy vibe to it, you know what I mean?
You see Leland, who's looks a little bit frosty at this point. It's early in the morning, but just a look at the guy. But he kind of backs off, and you see Cora kind of step up to you. You're talking about some sort of venture. I like the idea. I think the Merry Moss has a place. It's simple. It's down the road and all that. I think this could stay, but if you're looking for some sort of joint partnership, if that's what you're referring to,
I don't think there'd be any better people in all of Taldora to be in a business partnership with than you guys.
I think that's a good idea. Kind of it gives you one solid hit in the shoulder. Kind of hard.
I won't offer a. Well, here, and I'll just kind of put his hand out. He's like, just if anybody else comes looking for a partnership with the Merry Moss, just tell them you're already, I guess, spoken for in that department. And they'll just kind of grin and hold his hand out.
Leland, they kind of step up together, and they both separately shake your hand. But Leland says, "No one ever has in the past, and I don't think anyone will be. So, you got that locked down, Sullivan."
I'll turn back to the group and I'll be like, "Guys, you don't know how fucking happy this makes me."
I can really see it on your face.
Yeah, you can't stop grinning. I mean, aren't you glad you didn't leave? Now you you know.
Well, I mean, if Yorna
prospect.
would have stayed, I wouldn't have cared about any of that. I would have pieced out because I hated that piece of shit. But now that we're all, now that that's out of the picture, think we're there's a long road ahead of us. Speaking of which, it's like a 2-day trip to Turst Fields, right? We should probably get going.
Oh, yeah, probably.
Might as well. It's gonna be quite a trip.
Mortimer, where are you, buddy?
You turn around, you see him. Bit of a sad look on his face.
Oh,
Yeah, he looks a little disappointed, but he has hold on real quick. You see him. Yeah, honey. Give me one
Alright.
second. But you see, you all turn to him, and he looks a little sad, but he definitely steals himself as all the eyes turn to him, and he puts down his drink. I think this is goodbye for now, but please keep in mind my honorary position with the outsiders, and if you ever find yourself in Iman, come to the Lyceum. You can't miss it.
I think that's the plan, buddy. Come here. I told you I'd give you one last hug, and he's gonna like try and pick Mortimer up, like with like a big like bear hug, big of a bear
Easy
hug
enough.
you can manage.
And yeah, easy enough. And as I said, he looks a bit of an older gnome, but his voice isn't like, it looks like gnomes live a while. So even though he has kind of a white shock of hair and a white goatee or like a white point of a chin beard, he definitely is spry enough as you've seen him. He still has a lot of years left on his life, but as you pick him up, he kind of goes into it, and it's this nice long moment of you embracing him. The person, or the group that rescued him and got him from his bindings. As you guys remember, he was asleep and in the process of being tied up, and you guys could have went multiple directions that night, and you went towards him, and you saved the gnome's life for it. But yep, as you kind of set him down, he kind of looks at the rest of you. I hope Sullivan's not the only one. Kind of extends out his arms to each of you.
of course not. And Wryn.
Come here, little guy.
Repositions the baby.
Yeah, does he kind of hugs around the little no child's like, and it's kind of like at this point it's weak looking, like it looks like it still has a lot of energy to regain, but it has like little like noises and little huffs and puffs that come out. But you see finally a bit of movement as the Knoll baby kind of reaches for Mortimer's hair and starts like plucking at it. Mortimer's like, oh, jeez, I imagine this is who you were talking about. The reports, that is.
Yep.
Well, hi there.
Yes. This is little, what are we going to call her?
Patricia.
No.
Or Bet.
No.
Sullivana.
No. Stop. Oh my
Or here,
goodness.
call her Kel. Kella. There we go, Kella.
How about Sarah?
Oh, that's too basic.
So many names. We'll
Killer.
work on it. We'll work on it.
Yeah, it seems like it's something to workshop.
Yeah, I mean, we have 2 days to come up with something.
I mean, we could just let I assume there's going to be other Knolls in Turst Fields, maybe a few. We could let some of them name her.
That is true. We could.
Yes, but do you really want to keep calling her the Knoll or the baby while we're taking her?
Baby
I
Yoda.
still want to hold the baby.
No.
Dream Crusher.
Firebringer. Oh, that's a little too much.
We should name her Lola.
We could name her Loonscon. There we go.
No.
We are absolutely not calling her that.
That's important.
Mortimer kind of looks up and he's like, Loonscom. No, not from what I heard yesterday.
No.
Or today. Not from what I heard today, this morning, from your allies.
Alright, I got a better idea. Name her Yorna.
No.
Anyway, and Mortimer kind of
Stop.
pulls away. Anyone else for a hug?
Gorbo wants to just envelop Mortimer in a bear.
Riggington's gonna come behind on the other side, and
You
have a look
guys
as
watch as Mortimer was there, but now it's just Gorbo in Mortimer's spot. You're like, underneath. But you give him a nice hearty bear hug. And after a couple moments, Gorbov holding onto him, you let him go. He kind of fixes his glasses, fixes his hair. You give really good hugs, man. Kind of gives you one solid pat on the arm, little gnome hand amongst your bicep.
Gorber prides himself on his hug.
Thank you for the books as well. That was a very kind gesture.
Gorber, glad you liked the book.
I will be seeing you guys again soon. Elion.
Oh, I thought I already said he went to.
Oh, we'll say you are absolutely there. Give him one
Okay.
firm hug as well.
Yeah.
And
Gonna miss you, little guy.
hopefully it's not a permanent departure, but I'm sure it'll be some time. So take care of yourself.
You as well.
And I know we haven't known each other a long time, or not as long as these folks, but I think we can both share a magic or pursuit. He kind of extends his arms out towards you, Riggington, kind of reluctantly with your construct, but he's looking for a hug from you.
Riggin is just gonna bend down and like pick him up and hug him.
Okay. Once again, from like Riggington kind of moving in these ways, you feel a lot of his the metal plating kind of like and kind of like snap into place and all that. Riggington's starting to get into his groove and stretch out the old muscles, so to say, the bones. But you do give him one solid hug, and Mortimer is kind of like, you guys look at his eyes, and he's kind of like nervous for a second, being hugged by this basically the equivalent of a suit of armor. But he kind of closes his eyes and gives into it, and all of you guys give Mortimer a solid hug, and as you let him go and all you guys are standing there, he just looks at each of you. Well, don't let me keep you waiting. I think you guys have a journey to go on.
Seems so.
And as I said, if you find yourself in Western, and you do meet Leo, I wrote it in the letter, but tell him I said hi. It's been a while.
Will do. Look for the half-elf woman that runs that shop that you didn't know the name of. Got it.
I've been thinking all day, it's pissing me off, but Feather-Worn Shelf, that's the name of the shop.
Oh, Feather-Worn Shelf. Okay, cool.
Feather-Worn Shelf.
Alright, well, let's get out, all outsiders. We gotta say goodbye to Bob Fuck on our way out.
Oh yeah, get Ollie, you know.
I hate that too, man.
Oh yeah,
Oh jeez.
oh yeah, the fucks. They're great folks.
Oh, yeah. Alright, let's go. See you guys.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
So,
Take care.
All right, and as each of you guys kind of give one final wave, you close the door of the Mary Moss behind you, and just with a quick turn to your left out the door, the Parchwood Way lies before you.
Wait, we gotta get Ollie.
No, it's as you guys. Yep, it's up the. But Drynna is behind you. You're already on the road out. So within a mere minutes up the road, as you guys walk, you do come to the stable.
I see Mr. Fuck.
You do see Mr. Fuck. He's out there
Sullivan's
kind
gonna
of
be
tending to a couple horses and kind of patting.
Sullivan's gonna be like, "What's up, Fuck?"
Eh. God damn it.
Damn it.
Mr. Fuck.
Hey!
And Sullivan's gonna walk up and try to do the dap with him, the greeting he told him.
Oh, he's gonna give into it.
Hell yeah.
And as you kind of knit it and kind of give off from, he kind of cocks it to the side and kind of, bobs up and down. I showed my kid in. He wasn't all about it.
That's alright, you're cool with us, man.
Oh, that's what's important.
Oh,
You
yeah.
brought the full team. Hello again. Right?
Hiya. Nice to see you again. I suppose you know
Yeah.
what we're here for.
Yeah, Ollie has been taken care of. As we've said, the Groose family. The father seemed a little confused when I put it before him, but he accepted it the next day. But they have paid for the entirety of Ollie's stay. So he's yours to take now, whenever. He's good to go.
Right then, sounds good. I suppose we'll get him saddled up and get him hooked up to the cart and we'll be on our way.
Sullivan's
Okay.
gonna run and vault into the cart and just kind of
Yep, it takes
sprawl out in
it takes you guys a couple minutes, but you do string up Ollie. Rather large, hefty ox, definitely a good beast of burden. And you guys pull out the cart. Bob Fuck steps off. We're gonna take a break in a second because it's getting kind of late. But as you guys kind of string up and get everything together, the Parchwood Way and Turst Fields lies beyond. And actually, I'll save the statistical stuff actually for when we come back from break. So.
One question before we leave: does Ollie look like he could carry all of us, or does he look like he would?
That's
need
what I was
some
gonna get at.
support?
I was gonna do it.
Yeah.
I was gonna start talking about it now, but we'll just go on break, and when we get back, we'll figure that out because there is a couple things.
I might
It
buy
really needs like fucking 500 pounds of
I
metal.
might
Yeah,
buy
you
a
guys.
mule.
You guys. I was about to say you guys are at a stable, so I'm gonna give you that option. I'm gonna go through the statistics of what everything will account to. When we get back. How much time does everyone need?
Uh,
Tom, I just need to go to the restroom.
Yeah, I need a piss really
I'm
bad.
thinking like 20 minutes.
20 minutes.
20
Yeah,
minutes
come
sounds
back at
good.
10:30.
Come back at 10:30.
Yep.
Alright.
Alrighty.
Yeah,
See y'all
alright.
then.